everyone. Welcome. Fantasy Joey here. AJ Woodson there. AJ, how you doing? Week 3 in the books.
Yes, sir. I'm doing good, man. Week 3. We do this every year. We make rash decisions. We jump off of players, jump on players. I think right now we have to declare week 3 is the baseline. Do not make any moves until after week 3.
That's probably a good decision, honestly. I mean, I guess I've made some that I'm okay with. I'm also watching some of my players that were just on my roster going off on either the waiver wires or someone else's team. A lot of people last night watched Mark Andrews go off for someone else's team or on the waiver wire, and he turned back the clock in a good one between Detroit and Baltimore. We got a lot to get to today. Studs and duds, waivers, our favorite waiver wire pickups, and then buying or selling, some surprise breakouts or maybe not. I want to run the list by AJ, see what he thinks, and then panic meter. This list is longer than I remember this list being last year. So many stars are struggling.
It's crazy. We've got the quarterback injuries, number one. Pecking orders for certain teams did not pan out the way we thought it would.
No.
And then you have guys that just disappeared for whatever reason. So I'm excited to get into that list.
A lot to get to today on Fantasy Week 4 edition. Of course, we do a Sunday morning live every Sunday morning around 8:30 to give you the latest injuries, sit, start, questions like that. I'm trying to go almost every night, at least 10 to 30 minutes live on TikTok. I was live a little bit this morning, kind of talking with some guys about trade offers, a lot of trade questions here as we get to week 3, people pivoting. So a lot to get into, a lot of content going up on the fantasy playlist. Make sure you're subscribed, and let's jump into it. AJ, studs and duds. Obviously, let's start with the studs here. Go ahead and get it started.
My first one's going to be San Francisco wide receiver Ricky Pearsal. The dude is healthy. He's a first-round pick for a reason. He got 8 passes on 11 targets for 117 yards. I think this wide receiver room is his. Obviously, we're looking ahead to Brandon Ayuk coming back. We don't know what type of player he's going to be when he gets back. He already looked pretty bad off of that contract dispute last season. He had one good game last year. Then he got hurt. So we're coming off of a long time of Brandon Ayuk not playing good football. And Ricky Pearsal is just commanding this room week after week. His usage is trending up. He can make big splash plays. He proved that this last week. And does Matt Jones just make star receivers? Because Matt Jones
the kingmaker,
Brian Thomas last year, who I'm sure we're going to talk about on another segment here in a little bit.
We will.
But I'm like, is this Matt Jones or is it Ricky Pearsal? I'm going to believe it's Ricky Pearsal just being a stud. But he had an awesome week.
I've been slow to come around on Ricky Pearsal, but this week I did. We were laughing because we just started the fantasy playlist, so I've been into fantasy heavy, AJ and I, for years now. But as far as giving that advice to other people, it's a little more risque. And so this week I did just be transparent with you. I told a lot of people not to start Garrett Wilson, and he went off. But on the flip side of that, I told everyone I talked to start Ricky Pearsal, and I'm all in on it. I think Ricky Pearsal is the real deal, and I think moving forward, I think what you mentioned, just the consistency throughout the summer and now through the first 3 weeks, he's the one getting all these reps with Brock Purdy. He's been the one in practice, and it's starting to show up in games. I think he's a for real stud, and at the very, very floor, a flex set and forget it type guy.
Yeah, I definitely think you're starting him rest of season, even when Brandon Ayuk comes back, even when George Kittle comes back. I think Ricky Pearsal is the guy there.
Interestingly enough, I think he is gonna, whether Ayuk comes back or not, gonna have that Ayuk role, and maybe we see Ayuk more in like a Debo role where they kind of are a little more gadgety with him. My stud for week number 3, I watched him last night dominate a Ravens defense without Mbike or Kyle Van Noy. That's David Montgomery. Went off for 29 points here, 12 carries, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, throwing 1 catch for 13 yards. It was turned back the clock, David Montgomery. And I don't know if I've said the name David Montgomery more than 10 times this whole season and even maybe the preseason. This guy was everyone kind of under the radar, everyone in on Gibbs. Of course, they should be. But Montgomery has been this dude for years. Efficient, doesn't need much. And then the big plays at the end of the game. Sometimes the Lions tend to lean on David Montgomery as a more trusted back than Jahmyr Gibbs sometimes. Last night, Montgomery was the guy to put away the Ravens. And it was cool. It's good to see Montgomery again still being relevant.
Yeah, so I have Jahmyr Gibbs in our Dynasty League and then traded for David Montgomery this summer. And after last week, I kind of just started to look at him as maybe this is another Tyler Algier, just a premium handcuff, not ever really startable. But last night showed me that if I'm in a pickle and I have to start Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, if I'm in that situation, I will gladly do it because, I mean, the carries he got on such a low snap share was awesome to see. They absolutely use him. He's not coming in just for certain plays.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them go back to that. Jahmyr Gibbs gets a drive. David Montgomery gets a drive. I think they can both absolutely eat. Because they're just, I mean, the Lions are just every week, they're just back after that week one performance.
Right. Yeah. Good to see it too. Welcome back to the fantasy world because they shift the fantasy world if they're a thing or not. There's so many guys there. We saw them get JMO involved early yesterday. Sam Laporta, right after I traded him away, they get him involved in the offense. And then it's just cool to see Alwyn-Ra, obviously, Mr. Consistency going off. The two backs. It's just the Lions are a lot of fun. Let's move over to our duds of the week. Why don't you get us started in that one, actually?
Yeah, this one hurts because I was really excited for this guy this season. That's Keon Coleman for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
As I look at it, as I look at week one, they were in a situation where they had to do everything they could to put points on the board in that fourth quarter.
Right.
A lot of his production came in that fourth quarter. He had 11 targets, 8 catches, 112, and a touchdown.
And we said that. Sorry to interrupt you, but we did say that when we talked about it.
Yes. And a touchdown that was bobbled into his hands. Some people forget. He was not targeted on that touchdown catch. It bobbled off of, I forget the other receiver who had popped off his hands. Keon Coleman was behind him and caught it. He's just not a focal point in this offense.
No.
And I think we talked about this on our Sunday night show. Or our Monday morning show. I think the Bills, this is just who they are. Because we talked about this with the Packers. Packers don't have a star receiver. And we said, the Bills are the same way, but they make it work. I just think this is going to be the Bills. I don't think there's going to be a guy to emerge in this offense. So besides week one, I'm looking at week 2, 3 targets, 3 catches, 26 yards. Week 3, 4 targets, 3 catches, 20 yards. There's just the floor is as low as it can be. Yeah, I mean, you definitely can't drop him, but I mean, those stats alone, you close your eyes and look at those stats or cover the player's name and look at those stats. You're saying I'm dropping that guy, but I just don't think he's going to be a major player here. And I'm sure so many people traded for him after week 1 or after week 2, thinking this is the guy, this is Buffalo's guy. Because week 2, you kind of look at they blew out the Jets. Maybe he didn't need to be involved. But this week 3 game against the Dolphins, this was a tight game all the way until the very end. So he just was not a part of the offensive plan. They don't scheme ways to get him the ball. It's disappointing.
Ever since Joe Brady took over and Stephon Diggs moved on, there's been no focal point through the air. That just is how they are. I mean, the only stars in this team now, fantasy-wise, are James Cook and Josh Allen. And that's what it's been the last year and a half. And it's so funny to hear you mention the ricochet touchdown he caught and how he got all his targets in the fourth quarter. In retrospect, how did we not see this coming? This is actually the most likely situation. But I mean, it's a bummer because you're always looking for that year 2 breakout receiver. It's not an uncommon thing to see that. Look at Rome Odunze. So it's not weird to think, oh, this guy had a huge week 1. Makes sense that he's a year 2 receiver, first round pick breaking out. So I still stand by the process. It just didn't work out, and I don't see it working out moving forward.
Yeah.
All right. My dud is a guy that's breaking a lot of hearts, and it's just been for where he was hyped and drafted and what he has actually done, probably one of the bigger duds of the year, and that's Chase Brown. 10 carries, 3 yards, 4 catches, 17 yards for a guy that a lot of people were relying on as running back one. A lot of people just punted on those first 2 rounds, or maybe for just first round of running back, and chose Chase Brown to be there to lead that room. And he's been abysmal. Like, he's been as bad as this has gone as poorly as you could imagine. Jake Browning yesterday was really bad. They were going against maybe the best defense in the NFL. So I'm not dropping him yet. I am entertaining offers for him. We're going to get into a little bit more of him on the panic meter deal later. But thoughts on Chase Brown? What would you do?
So we all drafted him where we did. I was super high on him. We did a show where we had faces next to Chase Brown, and I chose either or the other. I chose Chase Brown a lot. We drafted him based on this offense scoring a ton of points. We drafted him based on the defense being bad, the offense having to put up a lot of points, and that relies on Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's gone. You have a trash offensive line. He's not going to have any breakaway runs or anything like that. You know, we figured he's going to get 15 carries a game. He's going to get 7 targets a game, and he might fall in the end zone a couple times. It's just not going to happen. And it's not to any fault of him as a player. It's just the situation has completely flipped on its head in Cincinnati without Joe Burrow. And it sucks, man. It's some of these second and third round picks have just, for multiple reasons, have just flipped over on their heads, and we can't do anything with them.
I mean, we'll see it later in the panic meter segment of the show how much that what you just said is true. It's just a lot of really, really talented players have been not just like, oh yeah, they're scoring just, mediocre game. They're just really bad, like unstartable type guys. Almost like that Tyreek Hill fall off last year. Like that kind of shock value. Chase Brown. Well, I want to get into him a little later, so I'm going to stop talking about him for a second. Let's get into our waiver additions. It's week 4, so it's getting dry. It's getting barren on the waiver wire. A lot of these guys have been discovered already. I think there is still some value here. Why don't you get started with your week 4 waiver? Who you putting one in on?
Yeah, so I've got two different guys right here. I'll start with the first one, and they're kind of 2 different categories of ads. So this first one is essentially if you have CeeDee Lamb or Mike Evans, you're going to miss them for a couple weeks, and you just need a guy to fill in and just possibly throw into your starting lineup if you've got just nothing. And that's Chiefs wide receiver Tyquan Thornton. And the reason I say that is Rashee Rice is on his way back. Xavier Worthy is on his way back. So this is not going to last very long. But while we are here, he is a solid part of the Kansas City offense. Again, I'm going to take out week 1 because Xavier Worthy gets hurt in that game. He was not a planned part of the offense. But week 2, he had 2 catches for 59 yards and a touchdown. And then week 3, 9 targets, 5 catches, and a touchdown. And he, if you remember, he dropped a touchdown. I won't call it a drop. The DB knocked it out of his hands, and they went right back to him for another bomb touchdown that he ended up scoring on. He's going to be a target monster, I think, in this offense. They want to take the top off with Patrick Mahomes. They've been saying for years they want to open up this offense again. The running game's just not there. Isaiah Pacheco is a dead man. Kareem Hunt retired a year ago. Patrick Mahomes is the leading rusher on this team. And I think he had 2 yards last week, and he's still the leading rusher.
What a mess.
But so Tyquan Thornton's going to get targets, especially this week. If you need a guy this week, they play the Ravens. And the Ravens have really had a terrible defense. They've given up so many points. I think they gave up 17 points to the Browns in week 2. Week 1, it's Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, and then the Lions yesterday. We had 3 massive studs score fantasy points against the Ravens from the Lions yesterday. So Tyquan Thornton, especially if you need a guy this week, if you've got some of the Bengals or you've got CeeDee Lamb or Mike Evans and you're going to miss out a couple weeks, I think Tyquan Thornton is a guy here.
Yeah, I think they're going to keep taking shots to Tyquan Thornton just because I don't know how many times now I've seen him be wide open. Mahomes just missed him. Like just missed him.
Yeah, he was wide open against the Eagles for what would have been a huge touchdown, and Mahomes overthrew him.
Yeah, so I think they keep going back to that well as long as it keeps working. My first waiver wire is a guy that maybe you could stash on your bench, but one of the few handcuff backs that have independent startable weeks. Now, that's like obviously when AJ earlier made the comparison of like Tyler Algier versus David Montgomery. Tyler Algier, probably more of just a straight handcuff. Probably can only start him if Bijan gets hurt. David Montgomery, historically, someone you can start as can start and be a high value handcuff. I love those guys. Possible one here is Ollie Gordon, just 34% rostered. Last week, 9 carries, 38 yards, and a touchdown. They played much better than we all thought they would. And listen, in years past, there's been 2 backs in this offense, and that's how it's best operated. I think McDaniels maybe started this year trying to appease certain wide receivers in Miami. I think at this point, he just wants to do what works. And we saw Ollie Gordon get involved and got goal line work right away. So maybe goal line work, possibly a 10 to 15 carry compliment. I think Ollie Gordon is talented enough to where if he does get 10 carries, he's a decent flex option and he'll get the goal line high value carries. I think Ollie Gordon's someone to stick on your bench. Don't start him just yet, but just to see how this thing works out.
Yeah, and I think exactly what you said. I think this team's going to shift over to running the football. I think Tyreek Hill's gone before the trade deadline. And then Jalen Waddle's they're going to use Jalen Waddle as they need. Tua's been absolutely awful. Yeah, I think they're going to run the football more. They obviously cannot give Devon Achane 25 carries. I mean, they're already giving him 10 targets a game. Right. So they've got to cycle another guy in here. And he's such a perfect just bruiser. He's 6'2", 225. He's a big dude playing running back as opposed to Devon Achane, 5'9", 190 pounds. Right. So yeah, no, I think there is a pathway down the line to see him take that David Montgomery type of role. Obviously not the same type of offense as the Lions. But I think this is going to be a little bit more of a run-heavy team because there's so much talk about the Dolphins of who's going to be there next year, Tua or Mike McDaniel. Well, Mike McDaniel is now coaching for his job, and I don't think he's going to put the ball into his hands if that's the case. I think this is going to be a run-first team, and Ollie Gordon. Jalen Wright is gone. Like Jalen, poor dude. He lost his whole job just by getting hurt, but it's the NFL. That's what happens.
Ollie Gordon to me just looks better as well. Like I think he's just. I think this is like when I saw he was on my team for a while, and I just ran out of spots. But you just watch him play football, like for that size, and how he can move his feet. He made a move in the preseason. It just like sold me. Like that is weird agility for someone that size. I definitely I'm getting bullish on Ollie Gordon, which is funny because I just freaking released them. Now I got to try to find a way to get back on my team. You got another waiver?
Yeah. So first one was based on if you've got like a CeeDee Lamb and Mike Evans has got a guy that's going to be missing some time and you need a fill-in. This one, I think we should, again, I said this before on this show, try to be a week or two early rather than a week or two late. Yeah. I think we should be a little bit early on Luther Burden. I'm not blowing the roof off on his performance. You know, it was only 3 catches, 100 yards, 3 catches, 101 yards, and a touchdown. And that touchdown and the bulk of those yards came on that flea flicker. But he's going to be a part of this offense as we continue throughout the season, as Ben Johnson gets more comfortable with the play calling and gets a little more bullish and a little more a little more cocky, a little more Ben Johnson, like get more comfortable with Caleb Williams. And as Caleb Williams is looking better every week, there's trade rumors around DJ Moore. I mean, and they drafted him where they took him where they took him to use him. This is right. I mean, I think I'll say the same for Colston Loveland at some point too. They put real stock in Colston Loveland. They put real stock in Luther Burden from this new regime. DJ Moore is not a Ben Johnson player. He's not one of Ben Johnson's guys. No. I think as we continue the season, if you've got a spot that you want to just grab a player and wait and see. I mean, it takes time with rookies. It takes time for them to get acclimated to the offense. It takes time for play callers to get comfortable using them in big moments. And I mean, that was awesome. Did you see that little fake just kind of jogging out there and then just put the burners on, and Caleb Williams just dimed it. Like that was the play. To me, that was the play of the year so far. Except for the DeAndre Swift's ridiculous pitch. Just lofted it up there. But Luther Burden, grab and stash. Especially if you're kind of looking at your receiver room, like, I wonder, maybe you want a little running back heavy, got a star quarterback, star tight end, and you're looking at your receiver room and it's not the best. Maybe T. Higgins was your wide receiver one. Go grab a guy like this, sit and wait and see how he continues in this offense week after week.
Yeah, I think his time's coming as well. And I think you said everything that needs to be said. I won't belabor the point. But I am all for stashing a rookie receiver before the breakout rather than during the breakout. My next one is interesting, AJ. What if I told you that you can put in a waiver claim on the current wide receiver 4 on the season? For most of you, that's true. 10% rostered is Tre Tucker, the man who went off yesterday. 8 catches, 9 targets, 145 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Listen, if wide receiver 4 is on the waiver wire, he better, no matter what we believe about him, he better be on the waiver wire show. Like, it's just, he has to be.
Yeah.
I think these are Randy Moss numbers. No, I don't think he's that guy. 8 targets last week, though. 8 targets last week. Yep. 9 this week. He played 94% of the snaps, ran 97% of the routes, and earned a 31% target share. Those numbers are for real. Yeah. Like those are for real numbers. Those are those are wide receiver 1 numbers. We don't know who the guy is in Las Vegas. We all assumed it would be Jacoby Myers, and he's been fine, but no one has really taken it. Who's the other guy we flirted with on this team? I can't remember his name now.
Jack Besh.
Jack
Thornton.
Besh, yeah. We've kind of just like cycled, like who's going to be the guy? And here's Tre Tucker with 145 yards on eight catches and 3 touchdowns. Like, why not throw him on your team? Obviously, people are going to put waivers on him, but 10% owned. He's out there. Even if you don't think you're going to get him, some people roll their eyes at someone like this.
Yeah.
And they just don't even bother putting waivers in on him. Even if you don't think you're going to get him, go put waivers on him just in case everyone else is too good to have Tre Tucker on their team. I would put in waivers for him for sure.
It's perfect what you said. Some people will roll their eyes or look at him and say, I'm good. I'm one of those people for one stupid reason. I just see 5'8", 182 pounds, and I'm terrified.
Same. Yeah.
But and he did this last year too. He had a couple big weeks and then kind of went back to irrelevance. But he's a third-year guy. I'm a absolute sucker for third-year receivers. You mentioned second-year receivers earlier. If you look at the third-year numbers, that's when guys break out. We're looking at JSN right now.
Right. Yeah.
I'm such a sucker for third-year receivers. This isn't there's not that bona fide go get this guy type of waiver pickup.
No.
Like if Trey Benson wasn't already owned, I think he's owned in like 82% of leagues. If Trey Benson wasn't already owned in a ton of leagues, that's the guy we'd be talking about this week. Instead, we're here talking about guys like Tre Tucker, who you probably do have room on your roster to go pick up. Just like you said, like we're done with Jack Besh, we're done with Dante Thornton. Jacoby Myers wants out. Like that could happen at any point.
Yeah.
So he may just be the guy here.
Buys are coming up.
It's a little weird this year too. You might be hurt. Like it's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
And the big difference between, like I said, this happened last year. He had a couple big pop weeks and then went back down. The big difference is Geno Smith. The passing volume's not going to drop drastically at any point. Right. Geno Smith and Chip Kelly's the play caller. So there's going to be somebody in this offense besides Brock Bowers catching passes. And why not jump and grab the guy who just did it?
Yeah. Buys are coming up here as injuries stack up, quarterbacks going down. That's going to take out a lot of receivers as well. Throw guys on your bench just in case. Just if you think you have enough depth, go get one more piece. You can't have enough as the bye weeks come up. And then of course,
it's amazing how it changes just with injury or trades. Like you may think you have the wide receiver one on a team, then they go trade for a guy. They go trade for Tyreek Hill. Like it always changes. It always
changes. If tomorrow Jacoby Meyer got traded and you're sitting there with Tre Tucker, you feel pretty good.
Yeah.
You feel pretty good. You might have a flex like weekly option there. Right. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. That's our waiver ads for the week. Those are fun. It is more fun as you get deeper into the season and it starts becoming a little more strategic than it's so obvious like it is in the first 2 weeks. Like, hey, pick up this guy. He's going to be a top 10 running back this year.
Nakua 2 years ago.
Right. A couple of new segments we're going to do today because we are going into week number 4 and some stuff has happened. We have some history now on the 2025 season.
Got some consistencies.
Yeah. Well, and some inconsistencies.
Yeah.
I want to get into a buying and selling segment with you, AJ. I will give you a name who is a surprise. These names are hilarious. He was a surprise.
Buy, sell, or hold? Or just flat out buy and sell?
Buying would be holding. Like buying would be, if you have them, like, no, I'm buying it. I'm buying it. I'm buying the breakout. I'm buying the season so far. All right, here we go. Buying or selling at tight end 1, Hunter Henry.
We do this every year around the same time of the season.
Yes, we do.
It rarely pans out. Tight end just sucks. Even like your bona fide number 1 guy, Trey McBride, has not blown the roof off yet.
No. Brock Bowers, you mentioned him earlier.
You know what? Because tight end is so bad this year, I'm going to buy. Wow. We do this every year.
You're buying Hunter Henry, AJ?
Hunter Henry. We're buying Hunter Henry.
Buy or
we know
sell.
One guy in our league who buys him every year.
That's very true. He's on the waiver wires and that. He's on the waiver for that league as well. So I expect him to get picked up.
What happens.
All right, current quarterback 3, buying or selling Caleb Williams.
I am absolutely buying Caleb Williams. Yeah. He's looked good every week so far this year. He had a little there was a little bit of going back to his old ways in week 1. It's Ben Johnson's first game. It's Caleb Williams' first game in a new offense. I am buying. He looks fantastic. He was the quarterback 1 this week, I believe. Yep. I'm buying Caleb Williams as a top 10 quarterback the rest of the season.
And then a reference to a benchy you had on our bench podcast show. The Cowboys are every team's Viagra. Once again, another team goes off against the Cowboys, has their best outing. Russell Wilson was the quarterback 1 2 weeks ago. He's benched this week because he played the Cowboys. Start everyone against the Cowboys. It is truly everyone's Viagra.
Did you see Rome Dunze just real quick? Absolutely cooked Trayvon Diggs. Just cooked him. On the isolated shot of him from the line of scrimmage.
Just one-on-one. All right, at quarterback 4, Danny Dimes.
I'm gonna buy the Daniel Jones hype. I'm not going to obviously put him up against Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes type of players. But if you took Kyler Murray, like a lot of people did, as your quarterback 1, you went heavy on every other position, waited at quarterback, you took Kyler Murray, or even like Jordan Love, you're at least grabbing Daniel Jones if he's still available in your league, and you're going to kind of look at the matchups and make that decision every week. But yes, I'm buying Daniel Jones. I don't think he should be available in any leagues.
No, definitely not. At RB6, Javonte Williams. Let me remind you, at 25 years old still.
It's so weird that the other guy from that draft class, Najee Harris, don't they just feel like they're 30? That feels like ages ago.
They've been here forever. Yeah.
I'm buying that because it's exactly what you said. He's way younger than we thought. He's a good running back. He was a good running back. I'm going to chalk last year up to Sean Payton just being Sean Payton. We know how a guy on our show feels about Sean Payton. And who he wants to make the star himself. So he doesn't want to use those star players the way they should be used. We looked at the Cowboys backfield all offseason and tried to figure out who the guy was going to be. Jaden Blue, if you look at his projections, it just says NA in some leagues or on some platforms. This is his backfield, and it's not going to anyone else. Miles Sanders fumbled in a huge spot week 1. I don't know how you go back to. I don't know how you would ever think this is a split backfield. It's Javonte Williams.
Miles Sanders is the perfect guy to have in your backfield. Like if it's going to be a split backfield, you want it with Miles Sanders because he's not going to take anything away from the true starter. At wide receiver 5, LA Chargers second-year man Quentin Johnston. Listen. Listen.
If I had the option, I would say hold.
Yeah.
Since I have to choose between buy and sell, I'm going to sell.
Okay.
I think that Lad McConkey is still the best receiver in this room.
Okay.
And I think Keenan Allen's second wind is very real. Quentin Johnston, still the drops are still there. He's still dropping balls, not as much as he has in the past, but if there's one, okay, I'll say it like this. If there's one guy that I have to put money on in this 3 wide receiver room to end up as the last guy at the end of the year, it's going to be Quentin Johnston.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to take Keenan Allen over him. I'm going to take Lad McConkey.
Well, Keenan Allen was my next one because he's at wide receiver 7. Currently in this offense is wide receiver 5 and 7. And neither of them are Lad McConkey.
I'm going to buy Keenan Allen because I saw an interesting stat. He's the only wide receiver in the NFL with over 50 yards and a touchdown all 3 weeks, all 3 games so far this season. So over 50 yards and a touchdown. He looks spry. He looks good. Yeah. He's comfortable in this offense. He's comfortable with this
warm weather again.
He's playing in a dome again. He's like, it's not Matt Eberflus calling plays. And he's still last year, if I'm correct, I think he was like number 7 in targets. So he still was out there getting targeted last year in that Bears offense in a crowded room with DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. I'm buying Keenan Allen. I had the opportunity to I looked at him before the season started, before waivers. After our draft, I looked at him and was like, let me go grab him. But I stuck with Jalen Wright as my handcuff for
don't do that to yourself.
That one hurts.
A guy who was added right before the season started, just kind of like thrown on the team. Now here he is at wide receiver 7, and it looks legit.
I think that's a big thing to look at too. Like he wasn't there training camp, and he looks like this.
Yeah,
he's only going to get better as the season goes.
Yeah, I mean, barring health, obviously, exactly, I think he's easily the favorite to finish as wide receiver 1 on this team and top 10. Yeah, that's our buy and sell segment. There's a lot of interesting names here, a lot of fun names. And surprising names. TrophySmack.com. Fantasy football isn't about winning. It's about showing off when you do. That's why we've teamed up with TrophySmack.com. They've got championship trophies, belts, rings, draft boards, even loser punishments. All the stuff that makes your league unforgettable. And the best part, you can now support the show while upgrading your league. Just hit the link in the description of this podcast and grab something from Trophy Smack today. So don't settle for weak bragging rights. Go big, go bold, and make sure your fantasy league's champion looks like a legend. Check out TrophySmack.com. Link is right there in the description. Let's go to the other side of that. These are the guys that should be on the top of their positional groups and yet have not quite made it there. We're going to do Panic Meter. I sent you the scale earlier, but just to tell everyone who's listening, AJ has 5 choices. Number 1 would be chill. It's week 3. Number 3 would be mild concern. Keep an eye on it. Number 5 is I'm sweating because something feels off. Number 7 is time to worry. And 10 on the worry meter is a full scale panic. Get out now while you still can. AJ, you got that in front of you?
Yeah, I got it right here.
All right, let's move down this list. Number 1, rookie cornerback / wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Travis Hunter.
I am sweating. Something feels off. Number 5. It's such a weird looking offense. Trevor Lawrence has one more year. Trevor Lawrence has this year before. I mean, I don't think the Jags are going to give up on him, but before the public gives up on him, because I'm sure there's still a lot of people out there holding out hope. And then they're just using everybody on this offense, not named Travis Hunter and not named Brian Thomas Jr., who we'll talk about in a minute. I am at sweating. Something feels off. Interesting stat too. He played more defensive snaps than offensive snaps in week 3.
Yeah.
So
Just 2
Not
targets
selling
yesterday.
yet. I saw him on a couple pages listed as a drop for this week. I'm not there yet. I'm not going to drop him because he looked good. He looks good when they use him.
Yeah.
He had that awesome catch and spin, and he clawed for 19 yards or whatever. But I don't know. I don't think they know how to use him.
Yeah, just two targets yesterday, 1 catch, 20 yards. I mean, it's just it's something does definitely feel off there. Still hoping that Liam Cohen could figure it out. And well, I mean, you figure out a pecking order to his offense. We don't know who the top dog is. All right, Chase Brown. We talked about him earlier. Panic meter for Chase Brown.
10.
Yeah.
If you can get anything for him, anything, pull the trigger. You spend a 3rd round pick on him, and he's not usable. He's just flat out not usable. If there is somebody out there in your league that is willing to pay any type of usable player for Chase Brown, pull the trigger on that trade. Just for all the reasons we said earlier, it's not due to him as a player. Joe Burrow's gone, and me personally, I don't think he's coming back this year. Everybody keeps talking about December 14th. I don't think Joe Burrow's coming back this year.
Why?
So.
Yeah,
exactly. Why? To go get beat up again in this offensive line when they're what, 5-10? Like what are we doing?
Rookie running back Treveyon Henderson yesterday got a season high 11 carries, but still has yet to break more than 11 points fantasy wise.
I'm at a 1 here. Chill. It's week 3.
Okay.
2 interesting things happened.
Help us, AJ. Help us.
Ramondre Stevenson fumbled twice. Antonio Gibson fumbled. After that, Treveyon Henderson got the bulk of the carries. So most of his carries came at the second half of that game. If I'm a betting man, I think he's getting the bulk of the work next week, and it's his job to lose. NFL coaches do not take lightly guys fumbling. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson fumbling twice is absolutely huge. It's week 3. He's a rookie. They don't want to, they ease him into the offense. I think every week we're going to see bigger numbers, bigger snap share, more carries every week for Treveyon Henderson.
All right, next name here is one of the bigger disappointments of the year so far with 1 catch, 4 catches, and yesterday 2 catches. Asking for a friend, AJ, Brian Thomas Jr.
I'm at a 3 here. Mild concern. Keep an eye. He's a star. He's a flat out star receiver. He finished as a rookie wide receiver 4 last year, if I remember correctly. It's just they're going to get it figured out at some point. At some point, they're going to get it figured out. He did it with freaking.
I already feel better.
Mac Jones last year.
Yeah.
And who was the head coach? Was it still Dougie P last year?
Yep.
Dougie P and Mac Jones made Brian Thomas Jr. a star last year. I am holding out hope that they are going to get it figured out. I almost went to a 5, sweating something feels off, because something does feel off, but it doesn't concern me because he's a star. He's still healthy. There's been no health concerns. If he had like a hamstring in the offseason, then maybe we'd say, he's bothered by that. But I think they're going to get it right. I think we're going to have one of these games where he gets 12 targets, and then from then it's pedal to the metal.
He's among the league leaders in not only targets, but in first read targets, to where he was the first read of that particular play. Like the play was drawn up for him. So yeah, I agree. I'm not panicking yet. I made a bold move in our dynasty league, and I flipped Emeka Egbuka for Brian Thomas Jr. Hopefully, I love Emeka Egbuka. I think he's a star. And I wish I would have known Mike Evans was to go down. But I think Brian Thomas Jr. is the superior talent, and we'll see if that measures out.
I think it's a solid trade. It's funny when that happened. Me and a couple owners were talking about it. We all said, like, it's not a bad trade for either of them. I don't think it's a trade either of them needed to make, but it it was just preference for both sides that kind of that even swap.
It's someone that I had been targeting all offseason and just haven't been able to get a deal done for. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, well, this might be the only chance to ever get him.
Yeah. Yep.
Because if he has another big season this year, he'll be in that group where it's like you have to trade half your team for him. But we'll see. We'll see how Brian Thomas shakes out. Let's get moving a little faster on this because it's a pretty long list. Michael Penix Jr. 10.
Get rid of him.
Yeah.
He's NFC tour. He's NFC tour. Like, If it was anybody but Raheem, he's NFC too. That's the best thing I heard all week. If it was anybody but Raheem Morris, like he'd already be benched for Kirk Cousins. But Raheem Morris is so freaking stubborn. He's Arthur Smith 2.0. They're going to stick with him. So sell.
I mean,
week one. What's that?
Sorry, go ahead.
If anybody's willing to give you anything for Michael Penix, you trade him. If nobody sends you a trade offer by this week, you drop him. Or if nobody sends you a trade offer by midnight tonight with waiver wires, you drop him.
Week 1, he was quarterback 10. Went 27 for 42 for 300 yards and a touchdown. Had 6 carries for another touchdown. And scored 24 points. Since that, back-to-back weeks of quarterback 32, which I don't know how mathy our audience is. That is dead last. And quarterback 31, which is right ahead of the guy who is dead last. And so he's been like, it's been just a total fall off since that week 1. And I'm with you, man. I don't think he's skilled enough. I don't think he's accurate enough. I don't think he's quick enough processing to be an NFL quarterback, at least a starter in this. And he's not young. That's the thing. Yeah. This is a man who's played some of the
quarterback 31 in a week where we had 5 backup quarterbacks play.
Right.
Like, come on, dude.
Right. He's also 25, which is like older than most like 30-year quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So let's move on from Michael Penix. Drake London, his
I'm at a 1.
battery mate.
Chill. It's week 3. I think Darnell Mooney coming back, that's going to open up a little more for Drake London. We saw that this week with Nico Collins after Christian Kirk came back. Christian Kirk comes back. Christian Kirk got a pretty good number of targets, and it opened up things for Nico Collins. I think the same thing is going to happen for Drake London with Darnell Mooney coming back.
Calvin Ridley.
That's a 7. Time to worry. And the reason why I'm not at a full 10 is I think it's still a wide receiver room that he can command if he dude, lock in, man. Yeah. That week 1 with all those drops, those wide open drops, was ridiculous, and it just hasn't gotten better since. I am not at a full panic yet, but I'm giving it one more week.
Jamarr Chase.
Chill. It's week 3, and this is. I think he's still. I mean, I know he's still an absolute ridiculous talent. He's done well with Jake Browning before. They just have to get him the ball, and then he does the rest.
Right.
Like I can't tell you how many variations of offers for Jamarr Chase, and he said no. And if he said no to those offers, nobody's getting him.
Ever.
Yeah. I mean, I love Jamarr Chase. Another player just became available in our league at a similar level. And I did not send the same. Another owner say, "Are you going to send that same offer?" No, that offer's for Jamarr Chase and Jamarr Chase alone.
Right. Yeah. Very few players like that in just at any position. Lad McConkey, we talked about him a little bit, but just to throw him in this list.
Mild concern. That's at a 3. Again, I said at the end of the day, I think he's going to still be the guy that he was last year. I don't think Quentin Johnston keeps it going quite to the level that he's been doing it now. I think Keenan Allen is there. But I think Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnston being who they are will just open up things for Lad McConkey in the middle of the field and kind of those dump offs. And he's not an X receiver. So they're going to figure out exactly he's the guy that they scheme the ball to. And they're going to get that going as we continue throughout the season.
Jamarr Chase's running mate, T. Higgins.
This is I'm sweating. Something feels off. Number 5. Not that I think something feels off, but obviously Joe Burrow's not there. T. Higgins was already an up and down player every week with Joe Burrow. Like I said before, you just get Jamarr Chase the ball. T. Higgins is not that type of player. T. Higgins is a phenomenal receiver, but he's not going to be the guy to lift up an offense with no quarterback. No disrespect to Jake Browning, but yeah, I'm at a 5 with T. Higgins.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
I am at a 7. Time to worry. It's more the same. It's more the same. He doesn't look like a new player from last year. I mean, and that drop that's unbelievable.
So bad.
It's so bad. So bad. And
he's like crying about it after the game.
Crying after the game. Like, dude, like I said earlier for Calvin Ridley, lock in, man. Lock in. You were drafted as a generational talent, probably the best wide receiver prospect since Jamarr Chase. Yeah. And you've just been one of the biggest disappointments I've ever seen in fantasy football.
Man, what is there's going to be this is a reference to you older ESPN watchers. There needs to be a 30 for 30 on that guy. For sure.
Him and Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. Last one here. And it's a one that I got a lot of questions about on all of our lives on TikTok this week. A lot of people want to know what to do with rookie running back, generational talent for the Las Vegas Raiders, Ashton Jeanty.
I'm at a 5, simply because I just don't think they're using him in the way that they should. They're not throwing him the football. Like, throw this guy the football. Let's get him on some screenplays. You're trying to make him a bell cow, 18 carries a game with an atrocious offensive line. You've got Geno Smith throwing the ball 45 times a game. Why is he not a part of the passing game?
Right.
So yeah, I'm not worried about him as a player. My only worry would be if this offense is going to change to get him involved in other ways, which I think that's what they have to do. Not just, this is just, we're talking fantasy. I think just from a football perspective, if they want to, win some games, you've got to change up the offense a little bit, and get this guy involved who is your number 1 draft pick. So yeah, I think they've just got to change up a little bit how they use him. He's so talented. He's like broken tackle. I did not know he had that. Saw the college highlights of him just, with all the breakaway runs. I did not know he had that, especially at an NFL level against NFL defenders. So he is a super talented running back. Yeah. Just hold. Maybe we drafted him a round or 2 early than we should have. But it'll get right.
He's the guy who in college was his senior season, or I don't know if it was his last season. He obviously led the league in rushing, and then it was a joke because if you just counted his yards after contact, that would have been second place. It's just he's so talented. It's honestly shocking what Vegas is finding a way to do with Ashton Jeanty. You guys, bravo for finding a way how to finding a way how to make this guy, this incredibly talented guy, look this inept. Ashton Jeanty. But yeah, I'm the same with you. I'm not full-blown panic yet. A lot more panic about the coaches. But by the way, let's stop talking about Tom Brady cheating until they're good. If they start let them cheat. It's not working whatever they are doing. Just let them cheat a little bit. We need more out of Ashton Jeanty. That's all I have for panic meter. Before I let you go, I want to mention real quick major injuries in the backfield this week, specifically with guys who are gone for the rest of the year: Najee Harris and James Conner. If you can go trade for Marvin Hampton, I know it's been hit or miss so far this year. Up to now, week 4. Seems like we should, it's logical to wait at least till week 4 for Marvin Hampton, but go send monster offers for it. It's about to take off. Yep. And then Trey Benson of the Arizona Cardinals. I think Benson's season's here. I'm not as bullish on him just as a talent, but he's going to have the backfield there. That's been a valuable spot for years now in that Cardinals offense, and it's going to be all his. So go get Trey Benson and Amari Hampton. Anything else you got, AJ?
One more deep dive sicko pickup.
Yes.
Carson Wentz, man, that might be his offense. There's some weird juju around the Vikings and JJ McCarthy. Some weirdness now. Carson Wentz might be the guy. I don't know if JJ's even traveling to Europe this week.
I know it's a conspiracy, but there's a lot of people saying it might have been a soft benching.
Yeah. Yep.
They saw Carson Wentz in practice, which you've heard rave reports about. Mm-hmm. And obviously it's a feel-good thing. He's from Minnesota, grew up a Vikings fan. Yep. He's right there with Kevin O'Connell. It's a lot of good vibes there. And juju's the word you used.
You joked about this too. Whenever we brought up who's the next Baker or Sam Darnold, you're always like Carson Wentz.
He's so talented. Why not? Yeah. It makes sense to be Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
The guy almost won MVP once upon a time. If he discovered it, it wouldn't be that crazy, especially in this situation. I mean, I'm excited for not only everyone should be rooting for Carson Wentz to take this job, quite frankly, because Justin Jefferson was kind of back yesterday, and you still have Addison coming back this next week. And then Hawk had a great day. I think everyone's rooting for right now the better passer in Carson Wentz to keep the job. Yep. So that's a good one to bring up. That's all I got.
Week 3. No, week 4. Week 4.
Going to week 4. Go trade for Quentin Johnston too. He's gonna be a stud. He's so good. He's so good. I didn't expect him to do that against the Packers.
Yeah, that was shocking.
All right, that is the Fantasy Waiver Wire show going into week number 4. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back later on this week, all throughout the week on social media. Just make sure you're subscribed to get all the fantasy content coming out. And, of course, Sunday morning for the last-minute sit-start injury updates. AJ, thanks for joining me. We'll see you again soon. Bye.
Peace.